Do you love animals? Do you really? Do you love all animals? Or do you love certain kinds of animals? Do you love animals that have traits that you find entertaining, aesthetic, or pleasurable to the eyes? Do you like animals who act human, or who do things in certain ways, who make certain noises, who have certain habits, who have certain cute idiosyncrasies that make you think that, well, this animal is just like me? And so you can feel closer to that animal because it exhibits some of the same behaviors that you do. It shares some of the same opinions about certain things that you do. When you go and have fun at the river or the lake, and the dog is out there with you, the dog is having just as much fun as you are, probably more. And so the trip is more fun to bring your dog with you. And so you become convinced that, because I have this symbiotic relationship with an animal, I give to the dog and the dog gives back to me, that I must love animals. Because hypothetically, I could apply this relationship or the things that I can see in the relationship I have with my own pet. I'll be able to hypothetically apply those things to other animals of other species. That doesn't mean that I will, because, it's just not socially attainable sometimes. It's not allowed in other times. It's cost prohibitive, or it's prohibitive to do so in other ways. So there'll be a myriad of excuses why not to do that. So you can keep it in the hypothetical realm without actually having to apply it one way or the other, without ever having to make that choice one way or the other. And if you decided not to take in an animal, what would be the fate of that animal? If you knew what the fate was going to be, and the fate was horrible, the fate was a life of suffering and then a brutal, violent, painful death, it would be like a Sophie's Choice, that you didn't want to see an animal destroyed in such a way when here you've grown to love this animal loves you, this animal is dependent on you, you're dependent on that animal, you have a relationship that is family. Animals respond to love, not just some animals, but any animal. An alligator or a crocodile can respond to love. A bee or a spider or a lizard or a snake can respond to love. A bird can respond to love. A four-legged mammal of any size and of any sort can respond to love. Any animal that lays eggs or is of the non-mammalia species, I know that's not a species, in the animal kingdom can respond to love. It's universal. It's across the board. I mean, if I can get to insects and I can show anecdotal evidence of insects responding to love, well, the gig is up. I mean, the game is over. There was a girl on YouTube. She had a very popular YouTube channel, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Her name is Brooke Houts. This is the most catastrophic implosion of a channel on YouTube, or anywhere else for that matter, that I've ever seen. And it happened almost overnight. She fell from grace, literally. She went from the top of the mountain. She was well on her way to 1 million subscribers. She made a mistake uploading a fragment of a video, just a raw video off of her camera. And in the process of editing, she made the mistake of accidentally uploading this video to her YouTube. And she uploaded a piece of video where she was abusing her dog. Now, she had an adolescent Doberman Pincher, a very active dog. I mean, this is a very high energy, powerful breed, and it needs to have a life of being able to burn off a lot of energy. So you have to have the capacity in your, wherever it is that you're living. Hopefully you're not living in an apartment. You're not living in, downtown New York in a, in some type of a small enclosed area with a dog like this, because that would be a tragedy. You can't, it doesn't matter who you are or whether you're a good person or not. If you just make a stupid mistake and get the wrong animal, you own the wrong animal, you have the wrong pet, it's going to be really bad for the pet, and it's going to be really bad for you too. It's going to be bad for both of you. It's just a terrible mistake. You should have never done it. And that was the situation here. Now, because she was vlogging in her daily life, having a dog all of a sudden in your life, that took center stage. And so all of her subscribers that liked her and for her daily routines and what makeup she wears and what clothes it became all about her dog. So the focus shifted to her dog and the relationship that she had with her dog. And so she started making videos centered around, focused on the dog. And it was clear, even from what she was willing to show about her relationship with the dog, it was clear that this was completely out of control. He was just a puppy, and he had, the strong, overwhelming desire to play all the time and to run around and burn off his crazy, wild puppy energy. He wasn't really able to do that, and then that caused frustration on her part, this energy. She wasn't able to contain it. She didn't really have the, I don't know if it was the time or the environment or the dog park down the street or the commitment to taking care of the animal or whatever it was, a combination of factors. She didn't have the wherewithal to know how to handle this well. And so in this error that she made, this video clip, she was abusing the dog. She was hitting the dog, trying to violently handle the dog. And then she spit on the dog. She didn't actually spit on the dog, but she kind of mimed a spit, where she made the motion with her mouth. She made the sound of spitting with her mouth, like she, like spit on its head. Well, that was the end of that. That was the end of that, because all of these animal lovers, apparently there was a big correlation or a big crossover between Brookhouse subscribers and animal lovers. So these animal lovers saw her being abusive to her dog like this, and that was the end. Her channel completely collapsed. She lost, I don't know, she probably still has a couple 100,000 subscribers on there, but I mean, most of them are just waiting for her to upload another video so they can just go and troll her and attack her for, and just let her know that, what she did was unconscionable, it was unacceptable, and it's unforgivable, and that they're never going to allow her, back into the spotlight again. They're going to make sure that everybody in the world knows 10 times over again that she abused her dog. She's a dog abuser. And that's the kiss of death. Let's look at people who don't abuse their pets. Let's look at people who treat their dogs just fine. Who are these people? And what do they think about animals? Well, they love their animal. They love their dog or their cat. They love their cute little kitty cat, because these people love animals. And these people have cats. These people own cats. These people love cats. They're cute to look at. They're fun to watch. They're fun to raise. They're good around the house. They're independent. They're quiet. And so there's all the stereotypes of cats that, they're more intelligent than we think they are, and it's their master plan, and we're just doing what they want. They're so smart that they got us to do what they want us to do without us even realizing it. And there's a myriad of videos on YouTube of cats bullying dogs, cats abusing dogs, and I get sick and tired of watching some of that stuff. You know, it just comes up out of nowhere. Not necessarily so much on the Dodo, but on other channels. It's almost thematic that it comes up where the cat just gets away with it, and the owner just sits there, and everybody laughs, and everybody talks about how cute the kitty cat is. And these are the same people that threw Brooke Houts under the bus, because I can read their comments about Sphinx, her Doberman Pincher, and about, oh, how cute he is. I mean, it's the same mindset. It's the same mindless, just parroting how cute something is. And, oh, it's just so adorable, and he's so smart, and he's so wonderful, and he's so cute. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, look, you know, whatever the context of the video is, or whatever the subject, whatever the video is trying to show, there's always people like that, and they pour the same things on these other channels. If you're a human being, you can't abuse a dog. If you're a cat, go for it, man. So, what do these people really think of animals, though? What do these people think of the barbaric, terroristic violence, sexual abuse that cows have to put up with? The torture and the death that pigs have to put up with. What do they think about that? What do they think about the other species? So when you bring, when you're coming to your house and you're at your front door and you see your dog, and your dog is frowning or pouting or moping or whatever the word is, that you didn't bring home any bacon. Oh, how cute, he wanted bacon. I didn't bring him home any bacon. Now he's disappointed, and he's got a sad, frumpy look on his face. So I'll have to remember when I go out the next time to bring home some bacon. There's no care or concern there at all. And if I try to assert myself that pigs are intelligent creatures, pigs make great pets. Pigs are wonderful animals that deserve our respect and protection. If I were to go and throw an argument up there at these people who subscribe to these animal channels, they subscribe to these dog channels and these cat channels, they try to find somebody with a dog that they think is cute, whatever the breed is, and they subscribe to it and they watch it every day, and they just shower this person with compliments left, right, and center, for all kinds of aesthetic reasons that gives them pleasure to their eye. If an animal doesn't give you pleasure, if it doesn't give anything back, but it just exists, and you not only don't care what its welfare is, you not only don't care what its fate is, but you will gladly, effortlessly participate in its fate. So if a pig's fate is to become bacon, you will, without thinking twice, you will absolutely cooperate and participate in the system which is going to turn that pig into bacon for you to eat, and your dog to eat too, I guess, because your dog loves bacon as well. You only brought home Chimkin. Okay? Chimkin is a 9 out of 10. Bacon is a 10 out of 10. So the dog wants the 10. That's what he really wants. Their quote-unquote love of animals that they're so quickly willing to admit to isn't strong enough to be able to carry. I love animals. Why the hell am I doing this? I love animals. Why the hell am I participating in this? I love animals, so why am I not making a big deal out of this? But as a vegetarian, I do eat animal products. So I have to grovel with myself sometimes. I have to beat myself up sometimes. I have to take some time out and some energy out and think to myself what the hell it is I'm doing, what I'm contributing to, and what the hell I really think about animals. I don't just surrender to, oh, I love animals, of course I do, they're so cute, and let it go and stop thinking like everybody else seems to do. All these judges and critics on YouTube, not all of them, a lot of them would seem to, if you go by percentages, and the percentage of people that subscribed or still subscribe to Brooke House but supported her, the number of people who went against her, like 90% plus, 90% of her, even her own subscriber base, plus probably 95 to 100% of everybody else, because they're just clicking on videos that, where the title is that somebody abused their dog, and so, that's clickbait right there. You're going to want to watch that and see what the hell she did. She's, instant villain. I agree what she did to her dog was terrible. I don't even know if I can call it terrible. It was bad. What she did to her dog was bad. It was wrong. It was bad. She knew that it was wrong and that it was bad and that she apologized for it, but she could get no forgiveness at all. These people and that's how petty support is. That's how petty popularity is. Talk about the tyranny of the popular. Nobody wants to watch that video either, but popularity is very petty. It can turn on a dime. As easy as it is to come in and to make yourself famous, it's just as easy to get thrown out the door and become unfamous, especially in today's cancel culture. And the poor dog didn't even know any better. But when it comes to stuff like that, it's unforgivable. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's unforgivable. Now, the dog didn't even really know because what the hell was going on, or what was happening, or what abuse is, or how much better it could be, or how much worse it could be. You can take a pig out of the slaughterhouse and raise him with love and kindness and warmth and generosity, and you give the pig the best life that a pig can live. That pig won't really know any better. He doesn't know exactly how much to appreciate. He does appreciate it, and he gives back, and he gives love, and he's intelligent, and he's funny, and he's entertaining, and he's cute, etc., etc. And, he gives all the same things back that a dog can give or that a cat can give, and more. But he doesn't really know how much worse it could be. You can't tell him, hey, this is what's going on in factory farms all over the country. This is what human beings like me are doing to pigs like you. Millions of times a day. The pig has no idea. So the dog would have no idea either. It doesn't know how much worse or better it can get. We do. We know how much better it could be for that dog. We know that dog that she couldn't have, that day could have went a little bit differently, where she didn't fake spit on the dog, or where she didn't, grapple and grab and manhandle the dog and hit the dog. And it could have been a much better day. It could have been a much more forgivable day with Brooke House and her dog Spinksy. People went on missions to expose her. Well, I would like to expose what happens to animals that we ignore. And people just don't seem to have a sense of proportion. In the grand scheme of things, what happened to Brooke's dog is nothing compared to the pain, suffering, torture, rape, violence, and slaughter that these animals have to go through. You have no sense of proportion. Even if you have the capacity to love animals, even if I can instill upon you the capacity, the capability of loving a pig, that I don't want to eat this animal because this animal is like me. This animal is social like me. This animal is smart like me. This animal is comfort seeking like me. This animal likes to do the same activities that I like to do. Whatever the things are that make a pet precious to you, this pig can give you, and you have to be able to just whitewash it. You have to be able to whitewash it in your own brain. You can't think too far. You can't think too long. You can't think too fast. You can't think about what's really going on out there. You have to ignore it and be comfortable in your own space with what you've got and what you do and what you buy and what you eat. And that is the same case with Brooke House. Our positions are inherently hypocritical. It's hypocrisy. I think forgiveness is a good thing. I think we need to have that. We don't necessarily need religion to teach it to us, but it needs to be instilled in us, probably from an early age, that we at least are taught forgiveness and that we understand what forgiveness is, so we build up, again, our own personal capacity to forgive other people or other animals even. I know that people are animals, we human beings are definitely animals. We are in the animal kingdom, Animalia, just like all the quote-unquote animals, but I'm, using animals in a colloquial sort of way. So when I say animals, I mean what most people think of when someone says the word animals. That you cannot disregard what is being done to animals just because it gives you mouth pleasure, just because it's tasty and delicious, or just because it relieves your stress. That's the same thing. It's delicious, and so you're going to contribute to these factory farms, these horrors that are being done to animals every single day. You're going to willingly and gladly participate and cooperate with that because something gives you mouth pleasure, because something is delicious. You don't want to give up bacon. You don't want to give up steak. You don't want to give up chicken. You don't want, of course, I mean, how banal is that? Of course, I can understand why somebody doesn't want to give up things that they think are delicious. That's one of the pleasures of life. But it's no worse when somebody does something to an animal that is treated infinitely better than any of these cows, chickens, and pigs that we can talk about in the factory farms that you ignore. Sphinx, the Doberman Pincher, was treated infinitely better on a daily basis compared to what happens to these animals on farms. Everybody likes cheese, because cheese was a meme back in the early 2000s. I think that was one of the OG originals. Got cheese, got milk. So the hypocrisy is staggering. There is no sense of proportion. The amount of ignorance and hypocrisy that these people who are so unforgiving, who are so unaccepting of somebody who made a mistake, who would never do it again, who said that they're sorry, who apologized over and over again, who posted videos over and over again trying to explain her mistake and the steps that she was taking to correct that mistake. Absolutely nothing. It was all pointless. These people have no capacity to forgive someone else for making a mistake. And if we're going to live in a fair world, if we're going to live in a just and fair and good world, then they are opening themselves up to not being forgiven when they make a mistake, and for not deserving forgiveness when they make a mistake. I mean, if people aren't deserving of forgiveness when they make a mistake and they apologize for it and there's no forgiveness there, why should people even be sorry? You're giving them every motive to not learn, to not be a part of a forgiving community or a forgiving society, to say, well, these people don't give a shit whether I'm sorry or not. These people don't care whether they're not going to accept my apologies. They don't care. They're not going to forgive me. So who gives a shit? Why should I change? Why should I try to be better? That's a slippery slope. That is moral hazard waiting to happen. There's moral hazard flying around all over the place every single day. But that's another one. And we don't need any more moral hazard than we've got already. So these people have no sense of proportion. These people have no capacity for forgiveness. And these people are hypocritical to the nth degree. And there are so many animal species in so much trouble right now. We have so many problems to fix. We have so much wild habitat of these animals that is being destroyed. It's being chewed up. It's disappearing. Planet-wide, it's disappearing, and the loss of natural habitat is going to wipe these species out. This is anthropomorphic extinction. It's an extinction event that maybe to this scale, to this extent anyway, is the first major extinction event that is caused by human beings on Earth. They don't care about that either. They don't care about what animals go extinct. 90% of the species that have ever existed on this earth are extinct, and plenty more of them are going to go extinct, and we didn't have anything to do with it, so why should we play God and act like that, we should care or we should do something about it now? Just let the cards fall where they may, and whatever we end up with tomorrow, 50, 75, 100 years from now, that's fine with everybody. Just let it happen. It's okay. If your grandchildren never see a whale, if your kids never see a whale, that's fine. They can see pictures of the whales on the internet, what whales used to look like. Back when I was your age, we used to have these things called whales. I mean, I can see some great-grandfather talking to his great-grandson about this in the future, his great-granddaughter in the future about this kind of thing. And, what's going to happen between now and then? When they say that the fin whale's extinct, or the humpback whale's extinct, or the right whale's extinct, or the blue whale's extinct, or they're going to say R.I.P., R.I.P., R.I.P. the blue whale, R.I.P., rest in peace. We enjoyed you while we had you. We sat around on our asses. We stuck our thumb up our butts. We didn't do anything to help you. And now you're gone, and R.I.P. It just happened to one of the rhino species that just went extinct in Africa. R.I.P., too bad. Didn't do anything while you were still here. Not going to do anything for the next species that's on the brink of extinction to help them either. Just going to sit around and watch everything go by. And I'm going to have my dog and I'm going to have my cat, and they're so cute. And they like to eat the same things that I do, and they like to do, and here we go. Right back into that again. That's your animal love. You're an animal lover. And you're okay with that animal love. You're okay with the extent of loving animals that you actually have. And you don't need to add any more to it because you're just fine with the way things are. If you're really upset about what happened to Brooke House's dog on that abuse video, if you're so upset about it that you just can't stand it and you don't want to ever see this happen again, then why don't you volunteer your time to go down to your local animal shelter and give these dogs a little bit of treatment that you think that they deserve to have. Give these cats and other animals that have been collected in these shelters, give them some better treatment than they're going to have that day, sitting in the cage that they are with a bunch of stressed out, loud animals going half out of their minds, just a big pen of mental illness of mixed breeds, sitting around, scared to death, loud noises, strange people, nothing is familiar. There's very little love. They're being fed, they're kept alive, their pens are being cleaned. They might get a scratch under the chin every now and then, but they're confused, they're stressed, they're miserable, and of course they can be living a much better life than what they're living. These animal lovers would go to a breeder instead and said, well, I want to go to the same breeder that I went to last time and get another Doberman puppy that looks exactly like the one that I just lost. It's not for the animal's sake. It's not for the animal's welfare. It's all about themselves. And that's what these animal lovers don't understand. They're just selfish, and they're all about what's in it for me. It doesn't have anything to do with the animals. If it did, you would look at donating to nonprofits like Old Pagetta Conservancy. You would donate to Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. You would donate to your county, animal rescue, or some type of an animal refuge, some type of there are zoos, good and bad, and you can find one of the good ones. You can find one of the best ones. You can even donate to that, which are a good idea to bring animals and people together, to give people just a little bit of interaction, of contact, of exposure, where you can hear the animals and see the animals and watch the animals in an environment that they like to be in. Instead of just poo-pooing on zoos and saying, well, no, we should get rid of the zoos and all zoos should go extinct and they're terrible places and they're wrong and the animals get abused, and then just, what's your alternative? What the hell is your alternative to the zoos? Put your money into the better alternative. Put your words, put your time, put your resources, your energy, your efforts into a better alternative. Do something for sharks. Save the sharks. How many millions of sharks are killed every year? For horrible reasons. For their fins. Cut their fins off, throw them back in the water, they die. Finless sharks, dead in the water. They're already being bombarded by enough. The acidification of the oceans, the oxygen levels of the oceans. The oceans produce a lot of the oxygen that we breathe in our atmosphere. we're destroying our oceans. If we destroy our oceans, we're ultimately going to destroy ourselves. We're going to destroy our planet to the extent that we're not even going to recognize the planet as a wholesome, natural ecosystem of a million interlinked, integrated parts that function harmoniously in balance together. We're not going to recognize the world as that anymore. It's going to be a contrived, manufactured, man-made, unbalanced place that is the way that it is for our pleasure. That is the way that it is, so we have things that are pleasurable to our eye, pleasurable to our tongue, pleasurable to our ear. It might invoke our maternal instincts or our paternal instincts. It might substitute for children. They're just like a kids. They're just easier to take care of. They're less fuss, less expensive, less high stakes. It's what the animals do for you. They put delicious strips of bacon on your breakfast plate, and they howl and they bark and they play and they fuss and they fight with each other, and they do all the cute little things that you love for them to do every single day, that you can take advantage of your animal by putting him on YouTube and getting millions of views and getting hundreds of thousands of followers, just so long as you never have an awkward moment. Just so long as you never have an uncomfortable moment where you treated your dog harshly or rudely or wrongly. You never have that erroneous video that you put up on YouTube that is probably the most revealing and the most enlightening and the most informative video that you will have ever posted on YouTube before, because those things get edited out. You're not going to show your dog take a poo in the backyard because there's no reason to do that. Even though, if people want the real experience that you have with your dog, yep, animals poop too. They're just like people. They like to poop. They have to poop. We don't want to see that. That's not pleasurable to our eye. So if I had a dog show, I could have the cutest dog in the world. If all I did was just, put videos up every day of him every time he takes a poop, then, that might be a good experiment. I don't know. I might just have to do that, and just that will be the 100% of the content of that. How many people are going to like that? Well, don't they like the dog? He's comfortably taking a poop where he wants, when he wants, how he wants, exactly the way he wants. This is just a bodily function that's as natural as every other that we all do. We all do it. We all poop. If you're a person watching this video right now, you poop. I'm sure you do. I'm absolutely convinced, without any evidence. I have no data set to go by. I have no placebo-controlled, randomized, double-blind, random controlled trial study to show you people that you poop, but I can almost guarantee you that you do. In one fashion or the other. So we have to get a handle on ourselves that when we self-style ourselves as animal lovers, we're not. We're selfish. We're selfish. And the animals do things for us that give us pleasure, that give us stress relief, that is an antidepressant. It's for our mental health that we are able to. It's for our mental health that we like to watch these animals do funny things, do cute things, do things that we can relate to, do things that make us smile, giggle, and laugh. That is about us. That is about us. And we have to get that straight. It's not the animal's welfare. That somebody else is taking great care of a dog or a cat, and that we support this person taking such great care of this dog or cat, doesn't lift up a spoon. It doesn't even, pick up a grain of sand in the grand scheme of things for animal welfare all around the world. If you look at the entirety of the animal kingdom, if you look at all of the species and all of the things that happen to all animals all day long every day, I don't have to remind any of you that house cats kill for fun. House cats kill other animals for sport. They don't have to do it. They're not hungry. They're very well fed. These cats are some of the most well-fed animals in the world. They can eat whenever they want, and they do. They kill billions of birds and billions of other animals, of other small, furry God's creatures, every year. Billions of these other animals are dispatched, they're killed, slaughtered, hunted, put to death by the cute little kitty cats. But the kitty cats are cute. So nobody has any objection to that at all. Nobody cares. Nobody cares the destruction and the death that their cute little kitty cat house cats do, because, again, it's a selfish endeavor. It doesn't have anything to do with animals. Not in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't. Not in the big picture, it doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with animals in the big picture. If you want to get your big picture right about animals, you have to take a look around you and see what the hell is going on and what is happening to animals and the world today. And once you do that, you might devote most of your energy to the animals that need it the most. You might be able to devote your energy, your time, your money, your energy to animals who are on the brink of extinction, who don't have much time left. I mean, they are absolutely on the brink. The people who are caring for these animals need all the help that they can get. They need your help desperately. So very desperately they need your help to save these animals from disappearing from the planet forever. And again, at the hands of man. So it's not just that it happened accidentally. Even that would be a noble affair. Even if an animal was becoming extinct, having nothing to do with humans, nothing to do with, which is almost implausible at this point. We have such a dramatic impact on our planet these days. But even if it was that, then it would still be a very noble line of work, very noble, to try to save that species. There's a lot more that can be done for animal species that need our help the most. And I implore you guys, if you're still watching this video after 45, 47 minutes, I implore you guys to please pay some attention to the endangered species that need, the critically endangered species that need your help the most. They're not going to come into your house and with cute little feet and cute little faces and cute little eyes, nose, and mouths, and they're not going to give you pleasure. They're not going to entertain you as a pet owner. They're never going to come into your house. You might never see one live in the flesh because they live thousands of miles away from you. Please do something for those animals and learn how to forgive people who make mistakes. That's the whole point of this video. If you can't, if I didn't convince you, can I please at least, will you please accept this video as food for thought? Look at the proportions. Try to have a sense of proportion that, how much bad is this doing upon the world? How much good is this doing upon the world? Let's try to put our power and our momentum at the tip of the spear. Let's find the tip of the spear and put some of our energy into that and try to make the biggest impact that we can with the littlest amount of resources that we have. So let's try to take a little bit and do a lot with it. Let's try to do a lot with with a little bit of money. Let's try to do a lot with a little bit of time. Let's try to do a lot to help one another think of ways, think of ideas to make the world a better place. Not just for ourselves, but for animals too. Let's try to make the world a better place for animals too. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, if you have any thoughts about what's been said, whether you agree or whether you disagree, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, just share your opinions, share your thoughts, feelings, and messages in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are having a good week. God bless you, and take care until the next time.
ฉันเห็นมันสงสารเหลือทนวันหนึ่งมันเปียกฝนไหลลงจากบนหลังคาพระอาทิตย์ส่องแสงฝนแห้งเหือดไปลับตามันรีบไต่ขึ้นฟ้าหันหลังมาตาลุกวาววาววาววาว ไหลตาจะอาจอยู่ข้างแสงคนได้หมดไปนับตาวัน